we're not trying to be everything to everybody. We're trying to sell to guys who want the best.
You keep on doing that with quality stuff. I mean, there's too much of a. I've read it in a lot of the a lot of the trade forums that I belong to. One of the technicians. It's called the race to the bottom. Like how crappy can you make something?
Yeah.
How cheap can you make something and you can still get away with it?
Camera dampener.
Yeah.
That's Joe just had a failure on his own car that we were.
Yeah. So as far as that goes, I mean, keep doing the right thing. I don't think we'll ever bite you.
No. And another thing,
reputation too.
There's a lot of people don't like my father and I because we just sort of say the truth as we see it.
Right.
There's no damn cast steel cranks out there. There's not a single cast steel crank out there. So whoever's calling them cast steel, stop lying.
Right.
Really?
They're all cast iron or nodular iron or ductile iron. Mm-hmm. There's no cast steel.
Right.
No such beast.
Got it. Heath, if we want to keep you on. We're going to take a break, and we'd like to keep you on. We're going to come back and talk about more stuff. A question is coming in. And there's a song that kind of played into you. Of course, you're Callie's Cranks, so we tried to fashion a song for you, and we'll see if it hits the mark. You tell us when we come back. We'll be back with more Motormouth Radio. Ray and Joe and Heath Norton from Callie's. Keep it where you got it. We'll be back in a minute.
Got me strange woman. Believe me, this chick's no sin. But I really get her going. And I give out my big 10-inch red band.
Hey, have you seen DJ Solero?
No, why?
Well, he was supposed to be here right now to tell everyone about his show, The Rare Groove Session, but I can't find him anywhere.
I'll look for him. Maybe he got something to eat.
Food? He went to get food? I mean, who can eat at a time like this?
Relax. I'm sure everyone can figure out when they can listen to the most incredible music from the 60s and 70s that they may not have heard before.
But what if they can't? What if they never figure out when the Rare Groove Session is on? What happens then, huh? I don't want to live in a world where no one knows about the Rare Groove Session.
Hey guys, ready to tell everyone about RGS?
DJ Solero, where the have you been?
I was getting something to eat.
How can you eat at a time like this?
What are you talking about?
Don't mind her. Go ahead and tell everybody when to listen.
Okay, whatever. So if you're looking for some mind-blowing music, check out the Rare Groove Session. Now at a brand new time, late Friday nights or early Saturday mornings, depending on how you look at it, starting at 1 a.m. on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Coming up at 12 o'clock today, Sunday, Motormouth Radio. Ray Guarino, Joe D, talking about cars. And like I said, you don't have to know anything about cars to enjoy the show. People watch cooking shows, don't know how to cook. People watch those home repair shows, they don't know how to fix anything. So Motormouth Radio is the same thing. Think about it that way.
All right, we are back. More Motormouth Radio. Ray Guarino, Joe D, Heath Norton on the phone. And Heath, that was very nice of you to play the harmonica for us. Thank you very much.
I do my best.
You filled in very well on that. Yeah, and I
well done, sir.
I hope the song was fitting for. So anyway, where were we? We did have a question come in. Somebody wants to know the difference between H and I-beam rods.
H and I-beam. The difference is in the tower mainly. An H-beam, I'm talking about the general characteristics now. The H-beam is flat on either side of the tower, and you have a slot cut on the sides of the tower. The I-beam is the opposite, where if you look at it from the side, it looks like the letter I, where the face of the tower is machined out, and the sides are solid.
Right.
Now, they both have their place in this world, and the H's are a fantastic product, but it is in our opinion and our belief that I's are the superior product. We are finding that especially in adder-based engines, where they have the power adder, whether it's turbo, supercharger, and stuff like that, the I-beams last longer, they perform better. The H-beams tend to fold over a little bit.
Okay.
When I say, the tower sort of, it doesn't break always, but it sort of folds. So we've seen this in a lot of turbo-based application engines. So we really push the I-beam, and that's why when we came out with our Enforcer I, it really is to promote success in those turbo-based engines, which just seems to be everybody everywhere all the time right now. And for an NA application, H-beams are pretty they're very successful. Mm-hmm. But for the turbo base, we strongly suggest people move to the I, and if it's depending on the horsepower ratings, either our standard Ultra I or our Ultra I Enforcer.
Excellent. And it used to be back in the day you could go into your local speed shop, and when there was one around, and ask them, and they'd give you the recommendation. But since they're not they're the rare as hen's teeth these days, I'm sure if people contact you guys, you have techs. Right, that'll actually walk people through the build process. Can you walk someone through the whole process if they want to build the whole bottom end of an engine? Is there someone that'll do that?
Sure. No, the first thing we like to understand is, number one, you have to pick up a platform you want to use, and what your goals are. What are you trying to achieve? Mm-hmm. What's the application? Is it a standard street engine, or is it a sportsman drag engine, or is it a trophy truck, or everything from a sander? What's the application?
I want to drive on the street, but I want to drive on the street, but I want to do 8s. Right? Yeah. I want to be a street outlaw.
Well, because those are all street cars. Those are all street cars.
Oh yeah, Pro Mod street cars. Yeah. But anyway, we jest.
We do get those phone calls on occasion.
I'm sure you do. Yeah.
So one of the things, and that's the first thing, you gotta understand. What horsepower are you going to want to run, and is it a road race? Is it a drag car? Is it a street car? Is it a boat? What's the application? Because, some of the things, that really helps dictate. You have application and expected power levels. And, RPMs is another big item.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are starting to run at higher RPMs, really trying to spin the thing up and use a turbo. Those are the first questions we need to ask.
Sure.
And then you got to ask, all right, and then we can start recommending, blocks to go with our cranks and our rods and bearings to use. And then we start talking about what your compression is, what bore you're going to run. Then we can start recommending some of the pistons. We sell all the major brands of pistons, bearings, dampers, ARP products to help our engine builders, for the bottom end of the engine, get everything they need.
Yeah, I want to ask you that one thing that came up was with especially the turbo motors that are pulling such high RPM. Has there been a shift and change in bearing technology that you guys recommend these days?
Yeah, the reputable brands are good, but we find that a lot of it depends on the application. You get people call in and say, I was reading in the GM manual to run this clearance, and but you're running a drag racer. Right. You need more clearance. But the GM manuals, I don't care what the GM manual says. The GM manual is made for normal street driving. Right. So that's where you really got to do it. Some of the bearing technology has improved. There's a few companies out there that are doing exceptional work. Daido, it's a Japanese company. We sell their bearings. They're exceptional, really good bearings. Uh-huh. ACLs, Kings, all the usual suspects all have their own flavor on what they do, and a lot of it has to do with what the engine builder prefers.
No more Clevite 77s? I mean, they were like...
they're still around.
And bearings, I mean, that's a whole science in itself, the way the bearing shell is constructed in layers and different metals. I mean, you could go into any one of these topics, people should know, could be gone into on such an intricate level. There could be a PhD, a master, a PhD thesis involved in it.
We could spend all week on one component.
Yeah. And that's why you need good techs like you guys have to help walk a person through. They don't need to know the metallurgy because they're not going to understand. They just need to know what's going to work in their application.
Exactly. And I strongly suggest, if you're interested in building an engine, find an engine builder you really like. Find an engine builder you can spend time with, you trust, you like, and go to that engine builder and listen to what they have to say. Because the thing is, those engine builders, if they're a reputable company, they have relationships with guys like Callie's and guys like some of the other manufacturers where they have a line of communication and they know what they're going to build, and they've done a lot of the development already for what works.
Right.
And the engine builders are, and another thing is, when something goes wrong, it's easier for you to bring that car back to that engine builder and say, what happened? Did I do something wrong? Did a part fail? Mm-hmm. What happened? And so then you get more hands-on because if you got to do it with us, it's harder because you got to tear it apart. You got to send us the parts, this and that. But the engine builder can look at it and solve a lot of these problems very quickly. Right there for you.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that could be that there's less and less independent engine builders these days. Especially, I know in our area there are. We have friends who are engine builders, and they've said, "Listen, when the crate engines hit with the price platform they have, it kind of killed my business because guys are buying a crate engine with a warranty. So what do they need me for?" Mm-hmm. So yeah, you do have to shop around, but go to your cruise nights, go to clubs, ask the people you know and trust, and get that recommendation because the guys they are out there.
They're out there, and the truth of the matter is, a lot of those engine builders have long-standing relationships, with us, and we, it really is. They are the broadband, the connection to the parts manufacturers, and when they call in, they have a established relationship that can solve a lot of these problems for you.
Right.
And that's our best customers are engine builders. We love working with independent racers and that, but truly, your best avenue is to go through the engine builders, work through them. They find one that you like as a consumer, and go with it. If you want to buy a GM crate engine, that's fine. You're gonna be one of many.
Right, of course.
But if you want something different, you want something that you can grow into. Maybe you can build a better base foundation in your short block, and so if you're getting into drag racing, you want to be able to move up in the world. A crate engine is only going to do something. It's right. A very purpose-built engine. It doesn't have flexibility. Mm-hmm. Now, that's what works for you, fine. But if you want to develop your craft and have more fun and increase the horsepower here and there and go out and compete, you need to get an engine builder.
Right,
and you need to have something with a strong foundation with good quality internals so that when you change cams or you put a bigger turbo on or you throw some spray on it or you do anything like that, you have a strong foundation to continue to perform. Keith, and you got to get it refreshed on occasion, too.
You're right. I wrote a term down that I picked up on the Plane and Traffic show that I'd like for you, because it really tickled my fancy. I told you Joe was going to like it, too. Explain for us and the listeners what a manufacturer is.
A manufacturer. A manufacturer is somebody who pretends to be a manufacturer but just repackages products that they buy.
Right.
Which we repackage products on occasion too.
Okay.
But
it's just a reality.
Nothing goes out of our shop without being inspected. A lot of these guys, they go buy all these cranks. There's a lot of companies out there that do this. And I can tell you the people who do manufacture cranks, from start to finish in the United States, it's a short list.
Yeah.
It's a very short list. Sure. It's us. It's Sonny Bryant, Winberg Crankshaft. There is Marine Crank out in Los Angeles. There's a few other really small players. But that is really, for the racing market, that's really the only people who manufacture A to B.
Okay, yeah. That's that is a short list for sure. Heath,
anybody else out there is not making cranks.
Right.
There's people that do finished grinding. Maybe they do the finished grinding.
Get the blanks,
but
the cores.
They're buying their cores from somebody else.
Right.
I'm sorry, Crower's another one. Crower still makes cranks A to B.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good old Crower. Okay, great. Heath, can you please can you throw out some contact information for listeners who may want to get in touch with the company and deal with you guys? What's the best way in social media and all of that? What's
social media? You can look us up on Instagram or Facebook at Callie's or Energy both. The best way to get energy products and or Callie's products is call Callie's at 419-435-2711, or you can check us out on our website, www.callies.com, or www.energymfgltd.com.
Right, and you'll see those stickers on our boxes and places around, because now we have them to proudly display along with those shirts. So people will be grabbing us too.
Did we say thank you for that?
Yes, we did, and thank you again for that. Yes, very, very much.
No problem, my pleasure.
So, Heath, listen, we want to throw it out to you. If there's ever a development you want to talk about and get out on the airwaves out this way, please get in touch with us, and we'll get you a spot on the show, and because we love to talk about new breaking developments in the industry, and especially with a quality company like Callie's is concerned. and we will do that absolutely.
Thank you very much, Joe.